This next product I'm making is actually the first time I've ever done it on camera, I think. This is a leather field notes set. Now, the field notes thing isn't something that I originally planned on ever doing, but the success of our notebook cover made me think that maybe someone wants a little bit of a smaller version that can fit right in your pocket for taking field notes. And that's when this was born, and it incorporates the fan favorite locking mechanism of when the pen goes through the loops, it locks it shut. You slide this out and you get access to a really small notebook that's, I think, about 50 pages, maybe 60, 65 pages, something like that. It's pretty small, and it's just perfect to fit right in your pocket. Now, this one here is English Tan Harvest, so it's a beautiful pull-up leather in that classic tan. And you can see the light streaks in the leather. That's the oil moving around underneath of a wax layer when it creases to leave those unique and rustic looking designs. This one's also going to be paired with dark brown thread. I'm going to show you how it gets made. Let's get started. Alright, so instead of actually talking you through the process of how this gets made, I thought I'd take a minute to talk about pull-up leather. Now, this particular English Tan Harvest is from a line called Harvest from Acadia Leather, located in Maine, and it's a full-grain leather, but it's also a pull-up leather. Now, there's veg tan and there's chrome tan leather, and the chrome tan leathers typically end up being these pull-ups. This one's wax, it has a wax layer on top, and it's got some oils underneath that wax. And when you crease that leather, the oils move around under that wax layer, and that's what gives you that pigment change. So you see those lighter streaks in the leather. And some leathers, it's a lot more prominent. Some is super subtle. So that black Harvest that we use for our desk mats, it's almost non-existent, but it's the same lineup. But this English Tan Harvest, it's super prominent, very evident, and I think it gives it that really rustic, kind of vintage look. Another thing about these pull-up leathers is they're water resistant, not waterproof, but if you were to spill something on it, the wax top gives it that protective layer. So I really like using the pull-up leathers for things like desk mats and desk accessories, notebook covers, things that are going to be around your coffee cup or your water or whatever, what have you. If you spill on a pull-up leather, you're likely going to be able to clean it up really easily without having stained the leather almost at all. The other thing about that is when it scratches, it's pretty scratch resistant. So the scratches can easily be buffed out because the wax, when it heats up, it kind of shuffles around, kind of settles again, and hides scratches that are kind of light. So if you were to kind of, scratch it with your keys, if you have, this notebook cover or this field notes book in your pocket with your keys and it scratches, you could buff that out really easily. And if it was a deeper scratch, you can even use something like a hair dryer to heat up the wax layer, not melt it, but it gets it hot enough, and you can add a little bit of friction with your hand or a rag or something like that, and it can hide scratches. So really cool, unique characteristics from this particular leather. Not really the same for the Minerva series. If you've seen some of my other videos, the Minerva series does not have that wax layer, so you want to be a bit more gentle with something like that. Lastly, the pull-up leathers, with that wax and oil, it doesn't change color over time the way the Minerva series that I use does. So if you're interested in a leather that will hold its color over time and stay similar to what it was when you first got it, a pull-up leather like this English Tan would be the way to go. Now, I'm not saying it's not going to age. It definitely patinas, just like any leather out there. It's going to get a little bit shinier, a little richer. It's going to break in like a really good leather would, but it's going to hold that English Tan color. As opposed to some of the Minerva options I use, say like the walnut, as that ages, it becomes more of a dark brown and a really deep, rich brown. While this English Tan Harvest will stay a little bit more true to its original identity. Drop a comment below, let me know what you think of the pull-up leather in general and this particular leather field notes set.